Computer Robot says, is it real? Jenelle Rogers Eason is not paying for her son's medical bills. Was it for Jace or Kaiser? Listen, it's alleged as of now by her most recent ex, August. And we're going to get into that a little bit. You know what? I think that might actually be my next story. So we're going to get into that right about now. So thank you for the segue. Okay. Why don't we talk about it? Jenelle, girl, what is wrong with you? Why was this ever in September, Spring, Summer's name in the first place? This is your child. How many stories are we hearing about this man getting overly involved in your parenting stuff? Like, you were only dating him for a couple of months, yet he was so involved. It's weird. Like, it seems like she's always so anxious and willing and ready to pawn the responsibility of her kids off on the latest man that she's dating. And the thing about Jenelle is she likes to date a lot, which isn't a problem. But when you're involving your children in this stuff and you're making them too familiar with your children too soon, it can get extremely dangerous. So now, by the way, August has been making bank off of this breakup. And the man has been selling story after story after story to OK Magazine. And I low-key want to know how much they pay, because it must pay well the way that he is selling them back to back. OK, and that's not shade to him. Listen, you might be entitled to compensation for your pain and suffering. OK, so let's take a look at what he told OK Magazine about Jenelle allegedly refusing to pay the medical expenses for her own son, Jace. Quote, I took Jace to the hospital one day because Jenelle kept refusing to take him. Oh, because she was always too high and he had a messed up hand. So imagine that. Your son has a hand that is in pain, it's damaged or something, and you can't take him to the hospital because you're too damn high. And so your random boyfriend of a couple months has to take your child to the hospital. This is very Jenelle. So far, I believe it. It was a constant battle. And I kept telling her he needs to go to the hospital. He's in pain. His hand looks messed up, but she kept putting it off. So this wasn't even just one time. This kept on happening. Oh, Lord. Okay. When Evans headed to North Carolina for court, okay, so he decided to take Jace to the hospital when Jenelle went to North Carolina to fight David on him trespassing on her property. Quote, as the adult, I had to sign off for it. So the bill for the hospital went under my name. I've been asking her to pay for it for months and months now, and she's refusing to pay for her own child's medical expenses and expects me to pay for it. So is that why, like, she didn't want to take Jace to the hospital or to the doctor because she didn't want to pay for it? Does she not have health insurance for her children? She talks about making a lot of money off of OnlyFans. Guys, how much money does she claim to make off of OnlyFans? Doesn't she claim to make like $40K a month or something like that? So anywhere from 20 to 40, 50K a month. Like, you would think that that would be enough money, and it is enough money, right, to buy even private health insurance, right? So what's the deal with that? How do you allow for your child to be in pain for so long? Because here's the thing about Jenelle. One thing about Jenelle, if she gets even dust in her eye, she's going to go to the freaking hospital and she's going to demand every single test that they can do. Paper cut, give me a freaking MRI. Open up this finger. We need a full-blown evaluation, So the idea that her son's hand was visibly looking like, it was damaged or, could have been sprained, could have been injured or anything like that. And she wasn't bothered. Meanwhile, she is constantly bombarding us with photos and videos of her at the hospital for no reason, for her own stuff. That's crazy to me. That's crazy, right? Like, what? Okay. Very, very weird. Again, all of this is just alleged for now. Hey, Maddie. But it doesn't sound too far off from the Jenelle that we know, does it? Right? Because even this was a similar thing, and thank you, Hamlets, for bringing up Ensley. Remember, Ensley, she had always sounded like she had an issue with her throat. Like, she sounded congested and like something was wrong. And so Jenelle's followers on social media, particularly on TikTok, would kept telling her, Jenelle, take your daughter to the damn doctor. We think there's something wrong with her throat. Like, she shouldn't be this congested all the time. And this was for years, you guys, that people were telling her that. And then she finally takes her child to the doctor. And what does the doctor tell her? Yeah, she needs a surgery. And I imagine that she probably did not need a surgery if Jenelle would have brought her in sooner, right? So she didn't take the daughter in. Did I lie? Did I lie? Did I effing lie? Like, if she took her daughter in sooner, she probably wouldn't have needed that surgery, right? So this to me sounds on par with who Jenelle is, who and what Jenelle is, right? Anyway, let's continue. By the way, I'm going to get into your comments right after this, by the way, you guys, because I wanted to finish what August had to say before I forget, because y'all know the way that sometimes I just go off track. So let me get back into it. So August said that the hospital keeps messaging him to pay the bill, which will only hurt his credit. Therefore, he is asking Jenelle to help him out, to which she allegedly replied, and tell him I said he's not my daddy and can't tell me what to do. Be a man and call the hospital to deal with it yourself. Dumb A mother effer piece of S. She needs to step up as a mother and take care of her kids and stop expecting for everyone else to step up and play the parent. Just like my relationship with her, I was the one going to all the parent conferences. And this is something I'd been hearing for a while and dealing with the kids' school stuff when they got in trouble because she was always too high to give an ish and go herself. Well, here's the question, August. Why were you dating this girl? You know, what are you doing? And, you know, I do have the receipts that August shared. So give me one quick second. I'm going to screenshot it here so that I can upload onto my StreamYard. But I had heard this already, on in his defense, that this was happening, that he was going to all of the parent teacher things. But like, why? You know, you're a child. You know, what is your purpose of being with somebody like this? You know, I think, yeah, Jenelle, like, we already know that she is kind of like useless, right? As a parent, it seems like she just can't be bothered with a lot of things when it comes to these children, it seems like. So what part of that is even attractive? And you know that she's always got these like charges either against her or against men. Like, there's always some kind of drama, especially legal drama. And August is claiming to be this big time manager, right? For a lot of like artists and great big people, you know, wasn't he like congratulating his clients on their Grammy Award wins? So how would somebody who has this supposed like big business, who's associated with these big stars, how does somebody like that end up with a Jenelle Evans of all people, right? Very, very odd choice of partner. Why would you burden yourself with all of this? You know, just walk away. Say, this is a neglectful person. I don't want to be drawn into this mess. And, you know, I could do better than this. This is a mess, right? He's also claiming that the kids would call Jenelle in emergencies, but that Jenelle would never answer. So they would end up calling him to deal with the problem. So before we get into that, why don't we get into the receipts that August provided in regards to the medical bills? Okay, so I've got the photo up here and you can see the text messages that are coming. Hills Hospital Medical. The emergency service is previously past due to view your bill. So these are the messages that he is being inundated with about, allegedly about Jace's health, right? But at the end of the day, we can't verify, I can't at least verify that that's what this is about. This very well could be about anybody's medical stuff. This could be about his own medical stuff. I don't know, you know, so, but that's what he's claiming they are bombarding him about. But I, you know, personally, I think I would like to see a little bit more proof, perhaps like him signing him in or something like that, although that's not our business. But very, very odd stuff, you know. Yeah, Ali, CPS. Oh, Lord, they have visited this woman so many times and they still cannot be half-assed to do any like thing permanent about the situation. Unfortunately, like, so long as these kids are not starving to death, you can keep them. You can keep on, you know, allegedly, seemingly neglecting them if you want. So long as they're not starving to death, all is well. So long as they have a roof, they're good, you know, and it's very, very, very sad. Quote, Jenelle would get mad at the schools for them calling her so much, and she would have meltdowns that the principal or after school programs would call her. If it wasn't for me, she probably wouldn't have her kids right now. Her lack of respect for me is getting old, and I'm losing my patience with her harassment and her stalking me. It's a daily thing with her. She won't leave me and my people alone. And on top of it all, she's continuing to spread lies and run with the same narrative that got her dumped and filed against. She needs to take accountability for her own children and pay this hospital bill. I would take care of it, but she doesn't deserve that from me. Listen, if this story is true, then bravo to you, August, for taking Jace to the hospital and putting your own money on the line for that. Because I heard American healthcare costs a lot. How much money do you think that cost? Would it be in the thousands for you? I don't know, right? Um, so I've heard that costs a lot. So bravo to him for doing that. Seeing a child in pain and saying, "Hey, the person who's supposed to be responsible for this child isn't going to step up, so I'm going to go ahead and do it." It sucks that it's backfired on him in that the mother is not trying to reimburse him. She can't be bothered about this, but at least he did the right thing, right? Ali says it sounds neglectful. I agree. If the story is true, this is a very, very, very neglectful way to treat your son. And it's very sad, especially when you personally are constantly in and out of doctor, what do you call it? Guys, I'm on my, what do you call that lady? Hilaria Baldwin. What do you call the doctor's offices? In and out of hospitals for yourself, like at any minor inconvenience. But for your son, he could be in a lot of pain and you don't care. Weird. Computer Robot says, I think the reason why Jenelle treats Kaiser so bad, he reminds her of Nathan. Listen, I think she treats all these kids bad. I do. It's not funny, but I think she treats all of these kids poorly just because she's not a kid person, And this is the thing about trying to act like everybody needs to have kids. No, everybody doesn't need to. So people just don't like them, So when people who don't like kids have kids, this seems to be the result of it, right? Linda says, I hope Jace writes a book when he's 18. Listen, anything he can do to finance his life and get ahead, because with Jenelle as a parent, that really, really stunts a lot of his options in life, and it's very, very sad. She's not someone that's going to be pushing for an education for him. She's someone who has already traumatized him a lot in life. And so just dealing and unwinding and unpacking all of that trauma already as it is going to be an awful lot. Houston Rose says that, who is this? This is August, was benefiting from her money. It was always come down to that. That's why he settled. I did hear something about that. And one thing about Jenelle is she does like, dropping a bag on her men. Wasn't it said that she helped get a car or something like that for him? I wonder. I don't know. It's an awful lot. Good morning to you, Ronnie, and happy Ash Wednesday to you as well, Susan. Welcome, everybody. Nice to see you all here. Stephanie says, be careful out here because a lot of people here that seem cool at first, then you learn the hard way. When it's too late, and especially if they had kids who get attached, you feel so bad to leave. Exactly. These poor kids have been exposed to way, way too many makeshift stepfathers, and it's sad. Lena says it probably costs about $10,000. Oh my God. Here, if you don't have insurance and you just go you can go to Dr. Lib. If ever you're here in France, right, and something happens, you don't have travel insurance or whatever, go to drlib.fr, make an appointment. You can even make a same day appointment. See a doctor. You know how much it's going to cost you? Like 30 euros. So the idea of 10K is insane, right? Gwen says, okay, Jenelle is like the worst. This list is endless, but why do all the guys expect accolades for doing what most women do every day? Great question, right? Great question. August seems like he's trying to extend his 15 minutes. And I agree. He keeps on selling stories to OK Magazine. I feel like they're paying him a good amount of money, and that's why he's continuing with this. Like, he has sold many, many stories, and this is just like maybe the second one that I've picked up personally because there's just too many. A lot of them are just like nonsense, right? I think he's getting paid to talk about this stuff. So, there's that, right? And exactly, I agree with you, Ronnie.